welcome to Oasis Scents. Today we are making a new soap inspired by one of my favourite movies. I started off by making a tomato puree mixed with neroli hydrosol. This is me doing the tomato puree. This was my lye water. I did a tomato based soap. I'd never done this before, but I watched some videos, read some stuff about it. It was apparently what you meant to do. I strained out all the seeds before I then made my soap. So it doesn't retain any of the tomato smell, and the soap is also scented in raspberry Lamingtons. I think that's what it's called, raspberry zinger. It's a Lamington scent, and the soap is inspired by What We Do in the Shadows, in particular the movie and the scene, which I'll show you in a second, which is one of my favourite scenes of all time.
Nick, do you like Bisghetti?
So this is my favorite trick. We present our guest with a plate of Bisghetti. And then I will say, why don't you eat some Bisghetti?
So this soap is called Bisghetti, inspired by What We Do in the Shadows. And if you're not a Kiwi, you might not know what this film is, but it is a New Zealand film, directed by some very famous New Zealanders. Some of them are now more famous worldwide too. And if you haven't seen it, you really should. But I've had this soap in my mind for such a long time. Ever since I did the Naruto ramen soap, I will be using the same piping tip to do the noodles on top. So I started off with a noodly colour. I made a bit more gold, and then also a red, which I will mix in a second. And this is just me pouring the fragrance into the two of them. And for the red, I used Trial by Fire by... who's it by? Mad Micah's Nurture Soap? I don't know. I got it before Zen stopped selling anything but fragrances. So I think someone else in New Zealand, I think Micah Your World now sells them. I'm not sure. Don't hold me against that. And then once I had mixed all of this, I had actually mixed the fragrance for the noodle colour. You just don't see it. I poured some of the noodle colour off into my piping bags. And then my piping bag, should I say, and then I poured the soap into the container, and you can see right here, this is where my mistake was. I poured soap into the wooden box, and I panicked, and I tried to get it out, but it will come to bite me in the butt later on. The soap stuck to the thing, so it took me forever to get that soap out of the mould. I really hate how the quality of these soap molds, like the silicone liners, has gone down from when I first started buying them. I mean, I haven't bought any of these soap molds for such a long time, but when I first bought them, they're quite thick and sturdy, and the later ones I bought, I think I have 3 that are the worser quality, and they just like concave in, and it makes it really hard to pour soap sometimes. Anyway, I did a drop swirl with the 2 colours, and I let it set up a bit before I piped. Well, I didn't pipe. I piled on the red in the middle to sort of create like a center dome to help me with my piping, my noodles. And once that was all done, I then started to pipe my noodles. I also managed to drop my container in the soap. It's really embarrassing that I kept that all in there. I forgot to mention that I did sort of help scrape to the middle as well to help accentuate that. And then I just did noodles. This is a grass piping tip. I've used this before. If you saw my last soap video of my Hyrule one, this was the soap I was meant to use that piping tip for, so I had to go clean it after I made that soap. I made these soaps both on the same day. But yeah, I used it to create noodles. It has a really cool effect. You have to be really slow though. This actually was sped up, obviously. Because this tip is a bit smaller than other tips, so it can pop out of the bag a lot sooner or easier than other tips. And then once I did that, I did a red mica drizzle just to give like a soupy sort of spaghetti sauce texture. Then I cut my soaps, and these were quite hard because I forgot to cut them on the day I was meant to. I was cutting them before I had to go to work, and that's why I'm struggling and I look a bit ridiculous. And then here's the soap. So I'm really happy with how this turned out. It's been in my head for so long, and it smells delicious. It does not smell like spaghetti. It smells like raspberry Lamingtons, which I picked a scent that was similar, a New Zealand scent. I mean, I think Lamingtons are actually Australian, but they're pretty stable here in New Zealand too. So I wanted to pick something a bit nostalgic and for one of my favourite movies. So yeah, I'm so happy with how this soap turned out. I'm so happy I finally did it. Hope you guys enjoyed this soap, and if you did, it's available on the 11th of August on my website. If you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe to our channel and also follow us on our other social media. My business turns 5 years old this year, which is crazy. It's like a whole last little child about to go to school. So I would really love some extra support this year. Oh yeah, this is me struggling to get it out of the mold. It took me 15 minutes to get it out of the mold. But anyway, let's stop talking about that and let's talk about how you should subscribe to us and follow us. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Thank you all so much for your support, and I will see you guys all next week with another video. I don't know what it is right now, but it'll be a good one. I hope you guys all have a lovely weekend. Don't have anything else to say, so ka kite anō. Have a great day.
My love language is your time and attention. Won't you give some of it to me?